Alright, so here we go. Today I'm going to be reviewing, or right now I guess, since I will have already uploaded another video by then. It doesn't matter. I am going to be reviewing two semi-newer horror films, but newer only comparable to the ones I've been reviewing, which are basically ancient history at this point. Today I'm going to be reviewing A Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors. Honestly, I'm surprised it took them till the third film to use the concept of lucid dreaming, which basically means you being in control of your dreams. And although they don't use it to the full effect that they could, they do it interestingly. Anyway, so the plot revolves around a young girl who's been having visions of Freddy Krueger dancing in her dreams. Anyway, so she starts building models of it. Of the house that Freddy lived in, and she has a dream, and then she cuts her own wrist. Her mother sends her to a psych office, where she meets a bunch of other kids who have been sharing the same problems. And from the first film, Nancy returns. Remember the main character. So anyway, she's now has a degree in a PhD in psychiatry. I don't know what the hell they call it. Look at all in order. I hate doing vlogs like this. I think I'm gonna stop having it be so jumbled. But anyway, so she comes into the rest of the kids, and the kids are all having problems in some way or another. They all have kicks. Like, one of them is a former junkie, the other is kind of an asshole, and the other they all have problems, and so anyway, so Freddy Krueger starts killing them off because they're the last of the Elm Street children. Anyway, so there's a handful of students who actually die. Each one of these kids, they have a little bit of a personality quirk to them, but they don't, it's not to the point where it's completely engulfs them. Like, there's a crippled kid who's a bit of a nerd, but that doesn't make up his whole, you can tell there's more to him beyond him being a nerd. And there's a former druggie. And then there's a kid who makes marionettes. You can tell, even though the film doesn't go into it, it doesn't make their personality all about their hobbies, which is kind of unique, but it also leaves a lot to be desired with their characters. Anyway, so they all get it really starts when this one kid, he starts sleepwalking, and he starts sleepwalking once, and they see it as, oh, it's just a normal occurrence. But it turns out Freddy Krueger's been opening his veins and has been using him like a marionette, and has been making him walk. It's one of my favorite kills, and this image is just one of my favorite images from the franchise in general. So he sleepwalks him, and he throws him off of the the clock tower. Anyway, so at his funeral, one of the psychiatrists meets a woman who knows an awful lot about Freddy Krueger's history. And even though they don't focus on him, we do learn a lot, which is a really smart way of introducing it. Anyway, so she tells him that Freddy's mother was locked in this old abandoned insane asylum over the weekend, and the inmates raped her hundreds of times, and after she got out, she was with child. Which is a really fucked up origin for Freddy Krueger, which honestly explains his history of mental illness and why he killed a bunch of people. Anyway, so she says the only way they can find out how to get rid of him is to find his corpse and bury it, which is actually kind of a pretty cool way of defeating him. Anyway, so they find his corpse, and they start spraying it with, they go after John Saxon, who was one of the parents who originally burned Freddy's corpse. They find him and they have a little fight, which is very reminiscent of Jason and the Argonauts, but with one skeleton. Technically, it's more reminiscent of Sinbad, but that's a whole nother nerd thing to get in there. Anyways, so all the kids, they start fighting Freddy in their dreams, and I like a lot of the kills in this movie. This movie has a lot of great special effects. I gotta admit, some of them I don't know how they did it. And there's an awful lot of stop motion here. I gotta say, I love stop motion. Anyway, so excuse me, they get into one thing I really don't understand is if those kids really died, like the crippled kid who starts doing his little wizard shtick, and the junkie girl. I don't know what happened to them. They never explain it. I'm guessing they died, but we never see their funeral, which is kind of a buzzkill. Anyway, so there's this girl. The girl from the beginning, turns out she has the ability to pull other people inside her dreams. They meet inside, and there's this the strong asshole starts warming up to them. Anyway, so they have a fight with Freddy, and then the father, who's just, or psychiatrist, the father's dead. The psychiatrist, he's able to give Freddy's soul to rest, but not before John Saxon's character is killed and Nancy's killed. So they're both dead, which really surprised me. It really did. So they're both gone, and the final few minutes ends on their funeral. And he finds out that that the sister who told the nun who told him about it was a ghost. It was the ghost of Freddy's mother. The film ended really abruptly, which I really didn't like, but I guess that's how all horror films end. Anyways, this film's really good. It really surprised me. Although I think some elements are a little cheesy, it's one of the best horror sequels, and I feel like they should have left the franchise alone after it. Although there was some interesting ideas thrown around after it. I'd really recommend checking this film out if you're into 80s horror, or, you're into that kind of, you're into good special effects. Storytelling is not that great, honestly, but I'd recommend it. Alright, this was Elijah Blackman's Hall of Horror. I'll see you next time.